I look at Democratic National Committee Chair Debbie Wasserman Shultz, and I ask myself, how does somebody like her get to be the head of the DNC? Seriously. I look at her, and I'm telling you, I say to myself every time I see her on television, she was born in the wrong era and in the wrong country, serving the wrong regime. She would be perfect under Stalin's regime. I can just see her as the spokesperson for Stalin's regime. We're going to bury capitalism. Our industrial production is at 550%. We're having so much prosperity here. There's so much wheat. There's so much industry. There's so much economic growth. We're expanding daily. America's days are numbered. I look at her and I see a Stalinist slash hack. That's what I see. I see a Stalinist hack or a North Korean hack. In fact, I was telling this to some of the guys, the producers, before we got on the air. Debbie Wasserman Shultz, Congresswoman from Florida, reminds me of that spokesman. Do you remember back in 2003 when we invaded Iraq and our boys were literally pouring into Baghdad? We had it encircled. They were moving in. They were marching in towards downtown Baghdad. And they had, I forget his name now. They had this, what is it again, Jesse? Baghdad Bob. Baghdad Bob came out, and he was the spokesman for Saddam Hussein. And he would come out and say, we have the infidels on the run. We have the infidels on the run. America is going to be smashed. We are beating America everywhere. America is losing the war. And the journalists are looking at him in utter disbelief, saying, just down the block. The Yanks are right down the block. The tanks are right there. You're going to fall in a day or two. No. We have the infidels on the run. We have the infidels on the run. That should have been Debbie Wasserman Schultz's position. She missed her true calling. She should have been a flak for Saddam Hussein. I'm telling you. Here is Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Check this out. The jobs report comes out. 80,000 jobs in June. 69,000 jobs before that in the month of May. Last quarter, dismal job creation. We're going backwards, not forward. 8.2% unemployment. Real unemployment, 15%. We're stuck in the mud. The economy is at a standstill. Now, she goes on Fox News Sunday. She's on with this anchor called John Roberts, replacing Chris Wallace. So Roberts says, you want to keep spending? You want to keep all the deficits? You want to keep taxing? It hasn't worked for 3.5 years. Look at these job numbers. You know, the definition of insanity is to keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Here's Roberts interviewing Wasserman Schultz, and look at her response. Boys, roll it.
So then is the suggestion that we should just keep doing the same thing? You know, there's that old definition of doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
What we should do, I'm pretty happy about 28 straight months of job growth in the private sector.
Are you happy about 80,000 jobs last month?
Hold on a second, John.
69 the month before that? Are you happy with those numbers?
Like I've said, we and President Obama has said, we need to continue to improve, and we need to do more, and we need to work together.
She's happy. She's happy. She's happy with this job growth in the private sector. Hey, according to the dear leader a couple months ago, you remember that? The private sector is doing just fine. Everything's fine. What are people complaining about? It's hunky-dory out there. This is now a new dawn, a new beginning in America, according to Debbie Wasserman Schultz and Barack Hussein Obama. I believe Debbie Wasserman Schultz is psychologically ill. I'm serious. I believe that this woman is slightly insane. Now, the reason why I say that, have you ever seen her on television? I just look at her. And I can tell you she's insane. And now she keeps spinning. Does this woman live on the planet Earth? Seriously. Has she just come down from Mars or something? You're going to tell me that everything is fine? 28 months of consecutive private sector growth? We've lost 500,000 private sector jobs since Obama took office. If he didn't expand government, there'd be no job creation in America. The only job he's creating are jobs for bureaucrats and leeches and parasites. That's it. That's all. And she's telling us everything is fine? I mean, Look, I understand politics is for liars and thieves and crooks, but there's even honor among thieves. There's even some honor among crooks and liars. Come on. I mean, aren't you embarrassed for yourself, for your family to be saying this? I don't know who Reince Priebus is. I never met Reince Priebus. I've heard of Reince Priebus, but I've never met Reince Priebus. Reince Priebus is the chairman of the RNC. And I'm telling you, he went on after Debbie Wasserman Shultz. And he destroyed Debbie Wasserman Shultz, and he destroyed Obama. Here is Reince Priebus, the chair of the RNC. Finally, somebody is responding to these lies coming from the Obama regime. Here is Reince Priebus saying, job growth, everything is fine. Are you kidding me? Boys, roll clip 1.
There are almost 500,000 more people unemployed today than 4 years ago. And if Debbie and President Obama were good on their promises on the stimulus, remember, they said if we passed this $1 trillion stimulus that we'd have 5.5% unemployment today. What that means is if they kept their promises, there would be 8.5 million more people employed today than there would be 4 years ago.
Bingo. It would be like Ronald Reagan. It would be like the Reagan years. It would be dawn in America again. If the stimulus did what Obama and Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi and Wasserman Shultz told us the stimulus was supposed to do, we'd have 5.5% unemployment. We would have an economic boom. People would be working, people would be spending, people would be hiring, people would be building. We'd be on our way back. We'd be burying the communist Chinese. Instead, we're being overtaken by the world. Our standard of living is collapsing. And so, Reince Priebus asks the question that I think he's completely right in asking. Are they living in a fantasy land? And if the president has failed and lied to the American people and not fulfilled a single promise, why should he be reelected? Let me ask all of you this. If you were the president of a company and for 3.5 years, your company kept losing money hand over fist, red ink, red ink, red ink, or you're the coach of a football team or the coach of a basketball team or the manager of a baseball team, and your team keeps losing last place every year for 3.5 years, is it not time for a change? Is it not time for new leadership? So here's Reince Priebus finally saying, you know what? Kick him out and get Mitt Romney in. Boys, roll the clip.
The fact of the matter is, this president can't fulfill a promise. They're living in fantasy land. And you know what? We're going to put this dream to an end of theirs in November. Save America, fire Barack Obama, and hire Mitt Romney. That's the best stimulus plan for this country right now.
And I agree with him. Defeating Obama is an absolute imperative. But I have a question for all of you, members of the Savage Nation. Where is Mitt Romney? Why is Reince Priebus aggressively attacking Obama and Debbie Wasserman Shultz while Romney, in maybe the most important election campaign in our lives, with the future of the American Republic at stake, where's Mitt Romney? He's not articulating what Reince Priebus is articulating. You know where Mitt Romney is? He's jet skiing. Why can't Mitt Romney do what Reince Priebus is doing? Wage a frontal assault upon Obama and take the kid gloves off. Take off the gloves. Instead, let me just you understand what's wrong with the Mitt Romney campaign? Let me play one little clip for you right now, which I believe encapsulates everything that's wrong with the Romney candidacy and with the Romney campaign. He is at an event with his wife, Ann Romney. And they're saying, boy, Obama's just been unleveling one negative ad after another. You're outsourcing jobs as the head of Bain Capital. You did a lousy job as governor of Massachusetts. You got all these Swiss bank accounts, these Bermuda corporations, Bermuda accounts that are unaccounted for. This guy's the second coming of Richard Nixon, according to these Obama ads. And look at how Mitt Romney handles himself. Boys, roll the clip.
The president's going on a bus tour. He's got no new answers. All he's saying is, let's go government some more.
Well, I feel like all he's doing is saying, let's kill this guy. Well, and I feel like that's not really a very good campaign policy.
Notice how Ann Romney cuts him off? This is the presumptive Republican nominee. This is the man who could very likely be the next president of the United States, the leader of the free world. His wife cuts him off. And not only does she cut him off, she's better than he is. At least she's saying, yeah, the only thing they got is kill this guy. And this guy's going on, well, they're on a campaign tour, and it's just more government jobs. And look, we've been down this road before, Mitt. This was John McCain's campaign in 2008. Play with the kid gloves. Don't attack Obama too much. Don't get personal. The problem is you can't win with the Boy Scout approach. And what many conservatives don't understand, and especially the advisors around Romney, this is the man, Barack Hussein Obama, who defeated and crushed the Clinton machine. He is surrounded by the Chicago boys. When they play politics, it's for real. They play hardball. You don't beat hardball with softball. Mitt, grow a spine, grow a stomach, follow your wife's lead, and take the fight to the enemy.